The Gates-McGinty reading tests. So what can GMRT, or what does GMRT say it will do? The Gates-McGinty reading tests are designed to provide a general assessment of reading achievement. The vocabulary test measures the student's reading vocabulary. The comprehension test measures the student's ability to read and understand passages of prose in simple verse. The objective information obtained from the test, complemented by teachers' evaluation and other sources of information, is an important basis for selecting students for further individual diagnosis and special instruction, planning instructional emphasis, locating students who are ready to work with more advanced materials, making decisions about grouping students, deciding which levels of instruction materials to use with new students, evaluating the effectiveness of instructional programs, counseling students, reporting to parents and the community. What does it really do, though? What it really does is it is a reading comprehension. It looks at students' reading comprehension weaknesses, including certain unproductive strategies to answering questions about prose text, such as relying on background knowledge instead of using information in the text and giving too much weight to a certain phrase or a word in the text. It's essentially short passages that students answer questions to, and depending on the type of answer they give, whichever multiple choice question they choose as the answer will help the teacher have more insight into what they're really doing and where they're struggling. The skills that GMRT have with it are reading comprehension, language comprehension, cipher knowledge, letter knowledge, concepts about print, phonological awareness, and that's it. That's a little shorter than the previous one we looked at, but still a really good list. The time constraints. Depending on what book you have will depend on how much time it takes. This is one of the drawbacks of this program, is that it is pretty time heavy. If you have PR and BR, those programs, it's 75 to 100 minutes. If it's level 1 and level 2, it's 75 minutes, and all the other levels are 55 minutes in length. So it can be pretty timely. The price is depending on what type of package that you have. If you're doing just the PR, it's $146 for 25. BR and AR, it's $122.83 for packages of 25. It's a little bit less than what we looked at previously, but it's still, well, I guess it's almost $100 less than what we looked at previously. So the price seems to be reasonable for everything that it allows you to do. Who is a good person to test for this type of test? It's most informative for students reading close to grade level and least informative for students who have very high or very low reading skills for their grade level. That's actually one of the drawbacks to this program. Assessments can be done individually or in a group, so that's nice. Also, the level PR is appropriate for preschool-aged children. Level BR is appropriate for kindergarten. And then they have levels that correspond to grade levels, like level 1 to first, and so on. There's a total of 14 books in the program. The ease of use is medium because you can use it for really two different things. You could use it as just a screening tool to see who is struggling, and that's pretty easy to use and it's pretty efficient. There's not a lot of time that goes into that. But if you really want to take the time to understand the system and understand the program and understand the types of questions that are asked and the type of answers that are given, then you have a better idea of being able to analyze student answers, and that takes some time to really getting into the program and understanding it, and then really understanding your student as well. So it's medium ease of use. Some of the weaknesses are it does not provide information about critical thinking skills, evaluating text on an aesthetic basis, appreciation of text, or comparing different texts. A program really relies on inferential questions. It's really heavy on inferential. Another weakness is that it's getting the most information about specific comprehension weaknesses, such as over-relying on background knowledge to answer questions. Requires a lot of work from teachers. I mean, you would really have to know and understand this program to be able to use it to that capacity. The GATES is only used for students with strong fluency and decoding skills, so it's going to be very difficult for students that are really below grade level in reading to understand and make sense of the text. And then you as a teacher, you're not really going to know what the problem is. Are they just low readers, or are they not comprehending the text because it has such a strong fluency component to it? Some strengths are being able to identify comprehension weaknesses, including limited vocabulary, and identifying when students are using ineffective comprehension strategies. Also, a strong psychometric basis for reliability and validity based on series of systematic revisions. So it's been around for a while and it's been improved upon. And if we think about the previous one that we looked at, that dealt a lot with like teacher judgment, and sometimes that can not be so reliable.